Before I start the video, I'd like to give a little backstory on my Stingray SVB175. I bought this boat somewhere around 2015 from a friend of mine. I say bought, but he may have given it to me. I don't really remember. The story goes he bought it, took it out on the water. The engine overheated, so he replaced the head gasket and had the head service. This is the first time I saw the boat because he asked me to help him put it back together. Later, he and some friends took the boat out. It overheated again. Not to let a temperature gauge ruin the day, they just ran it hot, and that's the last time the boat ran. So after getting the boat, and probably sitting a while, I removed the engine and pulled it apart. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, so I took the block to the machine shop. A few weeks later, he called and said it was ready. He told me there was nothing wrong with the block, and he homed the cylinders for me. I was about to start assembling the engine when I saw a very small hairline crack about an inch long in one of the cylinders. It was very hard to see, but it showed up while I was cleaning. I thought it was a bit strange the machine shop missed it, but at least I found the source of the overheating problem. At this point, the project sat for a while, during which time I moved to my new house. So in 2017, I decided to return to the project. I found a block, bought an engine rebuild kit, and put the engine back together. My girlfriend and I spent the afternoon shoveling leaves and dirt from the boat and pressure washing. At the end of it was looking pretty good. I pulled the carpet back and cut away the soft spot in the deck. The deck wood was rotten, the foam was saturated with water. I cut away until I found solid wood and removed the foam. I then moved the boat to the shed so the foam could dry out, moved between my shed and my shop for about 5 years. Now it's my Christmas vacation 2022. I'm going to get this thing out of my shop. My plan is to fix the floor. Yeah. So here's the current state of the Stingray. You can see it was last registered in 2015, so I guess I bought it probably a year after that. It's very dirty. It's been in my shed for a while. Then I recently moved it over here. And you see I got some trash and some stuff stored in it. If we go back here, you can see where we left off. So the floor is pretty much cut out. Needs to be cleaned up around the edge, but I got it out enough to where I could get the saturated foam out, the wet foam, and it's been sitting for years now, so everything's really dry. So I just need to get a new floor. Just need to get a new floor built back here so that I can start putting this thing back outside and free up some room in my shop. You can see the stern drives back there. I'm gonna have to take it off and make sure that I guess it's called the transom in the back is okay. If not, we're going to have to repair that, but that's not what's holding us up from getting this outside. It's just this hole in the floor. If you look over here in the engine section of my shop, that engine right here in the middle, that is the engine for this boat. So it has been rebuilt. It has not been run. It's been sitting for a couple years like that. So I don't think I've rebuilt the carburetor. So there's probably some work to be done there. But should have all the parts. They're just kind of on all these shelves. Unfortunately, since this project's been going on for years, everything's kind of scattered around. So I'll have to find all that when we get there. But for now, just need to get this floor in. So you normally would get marine plywood. I think the way it was originally built, you just get, they build this down here, this structure, and it's covered in fiberglass, and then they put marine plywood over it, and then fiberglass over the marine plywood. So as you can see, let me get the camera off, hold on a second. Alright, so as I think you can see, here's the plywood. So there is no fiberglass on the bottom. It's only fiberglass on the top. So once water got through here and saturated this foam, it wasn't long before the plywood failed, started to rot. So you see over here, there's this little hole right here. So after they fiberglassed the top of the floor, they drill little holes and pour expanding foam in there. And then they fiberglass over the holes. Well, every single hole in here is like this. So I think that those holes failed, which allowed water to get down into the foam. And that's what I think led to this failure. But so I'm going to do the floor. I am not using marine plywood because it's expensive and already have some regular plywood. So I'm going to use some cardboard or something and make some templates, and then I'm going to cut the parts out of plywood and then coat both sides of it with fiberglass, so that way it will be sealed in case water does get below it again. Hopefully it'll make it last a little longer, but really I think the goal is just to not get any water down in the bottom. So I'm gonna get started on that. Hopefully we can knock this out in a couple days. Obviously there's going to be a drying time because I'm using epoxy, a curing time overnight. So and it's a little cool in here, so maybe we can get these cut tonight and coated, and maybe go ahead and fix. I don't know if you can see down here too. So there's a little bit of rot here. So this is kind of the little bay where the engine goes, and then around it, it's mostly solid. Just about everything's solid, but right here and across it, right over there, it rotted there for some reason. So this is the other thing we're gonna have to fix today. Just fill it in with some kind of wood to hold the fiberglass up while it cures. Give fiberglass some kind of a structure, and yeah, hopefully we can get that today, and then tomorrow maybe we could just fiberglass everything together. So I think the first step is I need to clean these edges up a little bit. I think this one's probably fine. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide the wood under it and kind of glue it in with fiberglass. So I don't think I'm going to bring it all the way over to the actual, point where the floor meets the top, but I'm just going to kind of use that. But I haven't done that over there. There's still wood under it. And back here, I have two choices. I can either add some boards across here so that I have something to screw the floor to, or I can cut back the foam until I find a wall. So I need to see how far a wall is from there. So I'm going to work on that, and I'll just set you up in the camera. It's kind of cold, so I'm going to cut the heater back on. Okay, so I've been using this little Dremel multi-tool, which is nice because it's pretty quiet, but yeah, not going so good so far. First thing I did was start cutting away this to see how far back the wood was rotten, and it's rotten. Yeah, there's no wood left in there. I imagine that's the same thing we're going to see on the other ones. So, this project is not like a restoration. The boat's not really worth it. I just want to, make it where I can play with it. In fact, I didn't even really need to fix the floor, so for what I want it for. So what I'm going to do, as of right now, the current plan, is I'm going to find where this wall is. It's right there. So I'm going to cut along that with a circular saw and pull that fiberglass and wood out, take the rest of the foam out, kind of have it to that wall, and that's as far back as I'm going to go, no matter what else is messed up. Even though the wood's gone, this fiberglass is solid. It's not ideal, but it'll make it where I can put it back together. And then if I get this boat done, get the motor back in it and put some seats and find that I actually use it a little bit, then I can do the front half another time. But for now, I'm going to get this back solid. Yeah, I think I'm going to end up having to... I avoided these parts, these reinforced parts right here and back here. But I'm not sure really how I'm going to handle it because the wood's rotting under them too. So if I can slide a piece of wood under it and kind of put fiberglass all over it, I'll be happy enough with that. But if not, I may end up having to cut these out too. But anyway, I'm going to keep cutting away at this. Like I said, I'm not going to cut the whole fiberglass thing out. I'm just going to cut like the inside part out so that I can get a piece of wood and butt it up against the existing fiberglass, and then just fiberglass the rest of the way around it. That way I can kind of maintain this top surface here, and I won't have to do a lot of measuring and get things level and stuff. So anyway, I'll continue with this and come back whenever I get something done. So I just removed the foam here in this section. You can see we're up to a cross piece. And yeah, this thing's been sitting in a garage for maybe 4 years with the floor off to let it all dry out. Thought it was good. Look at that, at the very bottom there's water. So that's not a very good sign, but at least that's isolated from everything else right here and right here. If that's the only places there's water, then this will get it completely out of connection with any other wood on the boat. So anyways, I'll keep chipping away at this foam. Alright, so I've been chipping away at this foam and cutting away the fiberglass for a couple hours now, and I think my plan's come to a halt. So let me show you what I got. So up here is pretty much like it was earlier, except I went ahead and cut away the fiberglass, and you can see it's rotting all the way up in there. So these stringers definitely need to be replaced. I don't imagine there's any good wood in them, but that isn't what stopped the plan, because I kind of knew that already, and I was just going to build some a support across here to support the back and just kind of do the back, because I mean it is still solid up there as far as walking on it and stuff, and it's just a boat for fun, so it's whatever. But got the back here and started cutting this stuff out, and of course the wood's rotting all the way back, but I can stick my finger in there to the transom now, and that's completely rotten too. So we can't run the boat with a rotten transom. It's just it's gonna leak water. That's the other issue. The guy that sold it to me said that it was leaking water. He said he thinks that maybe the seal on the stern drive's bad. So the transom's definitely rotten. So to do that, to fix that, you have to take the stern drive off, which we got to do anyway, and cut this whole back wall out and replace all the wood in it. And if we're gonna do that, we might as well cut the rest of the floor out and do that. So this needs a whole stringer, replacement, and a transom replacement. So but the good news is, the whole reason I was doing this is because this thing's taking up a lot of room in my shop, and the whole reason is in the shop is because I wanted this styrofoam to dry out. And one, we found it kind of hasn't all the way dried out. There is still some moisture on all of them down at the bottom, but also we found out we got to pull the rest of the floor out anyway. So that's going to be a future project. I'm not going to start on that right now, but I probably am going to pull the stern drive off pretty soon from now, so that I can just so it won't rust and stuff right there any more than it is. And I got to pull it off anyway because I got to replace all the seals. So this got to be out of the way to do the transom. And but now I know I can leave the boat outside. It's not going to make anything any worse than it is, because we got to replace all the wood. So that was the main goal of today. So technically we met our goal, maybe even a day early. But anyways, I'm going to upload this video even though nothing really happened. And the reason is because I want to see if anybody's interested in this project, because this would be a big project. And honestly, I don't know if I just want to do it for fun. I've had this boat for a lot of years. It's not worth fixing. If I do fix it, I'm going to have to do something custom with it. Something that would separate it from just going and spending $1,000 and getting a used boat. So anyway, if you have any ideas, anything you'd like to see, anything you think would be cool, I mean, we'll try some custom fiberglass work or something. It's definitely getting an American flag paint job. That's not negotiable. But other than that, any ideas, let me know. So I guess that's it for this one. So it didn't go exactly like planned, but I still got one of my goals, which is to get this thing out the shop. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and leave some comments below.